I tell you, the most dangerous creation in the world, in any society, is the man with nothing to lose. You do not need 10 such men to change the world. One.
This is the typical white woman liberal behavior. And I've seen it being in predominantly white volunteer organizations. And it's trickled down to, we got to help the blacks. We got to help the coloreds because this is Kamala Harris's voice. We got to help the coloreds because they're the ones who are marginal in these marginalized communities who need our help because we're the white women and we have the privilege and we're better than them. And they know that we're better than them, so we have to help them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the help that I want.
Infuriating. It's insulting. It's insulting. It's not just about Kamala's policies that are bad. Her ideology is bad. But this idea of this privilege and this idea of this, separation of the races and things like that, and their savior mentality, whites are the saviors, blacks are the victims, it ends up having a very bad result on us. And I want to give a quick example. So I have a friend, and we're pretty good friends, and she's white, and our kids are friends as well. And so we were talking one day about colleges. And so her son is 1 year older than mine. And she was talking, we were saying, I'm nervous about him getting into college. I don't know where he's gonna go. We're both talking about that. And she said to me, your son won't have any issues. He'll be fine. And I said, well, yeah, I said he does well in school, but I'm still, worried. I want him to, get into a good school. And she said, oh yeah, but he's black. And the way things are going now, with these, privilege and things like that. She was saying the whole society is geared towards black people now, and he will have an easier way due to that. And I was so upset.
You should have said something.
Well, you're right. I should have. But I did say, I mentioned to her, I was like, well, my son, he goes to one of the best schools probably in the state. He's an A honor roll student. He's an athlete. So that's why he shouldn't have a problem getting into college. Not because of his skin, but when you look at that video we just saw, you can kind of see how these people are now starting to believe that.
This is nothing but a rewrite of affirmative action, reparations, if you want to call it that. What you should have said was, bitch, please. That's what you should have said.
I understand. I get a lot of white liberal women who come to me and try to give me that same thing. Like, I grew up in, my father wasn't in the home either, so I can relate to black people because my father wasn't in the home, or I grew up poor, and I'm like, my father was, I know my daddy. I didn't grow up poor, I can't relate to what your struggle, so don't try to relate to me as a black person thinking that we got the same story. If you were poor, you were just poor. That got nothing to do with me being black.
Yeah. There you go.
Black people have to put these people in their place too. Don't let them do this to us. We have to tell them, look, I'm not a slave.
When you have a lot of black people pushing the opposite, I
get you. It's up for us to correct them. Starting with, bitch, please.
Right.
And I am so proud for all of us to be together as women, as white women. We are the ones that have the privilege, of course, and we too have had to fight and continue to fight for our equality, our selfhood, our freedom. But we have whatever privileges our white male counterparts have had the mercy and good sense to bestow on us, and then whatever else of it we have managed to take for ourselves. Often being led by, as many have said earlier tonight, the leadership of our sisters of color who have fought and continue to fight for their righteous place on God's green earth.
Righteous.
So,
God.
I am here tonight
I know you're
embracing
kind,
myself
I know
in
you're
your
kind, man.
incredible, profound white women midst, because we've got a fucking job to do, y'all. And my life experience shows me that often as women, we have to blow our lives up in order to truly know ourselves, empower ourselves, free ourselves.
What do you mean
This
by
is
that?
because
Blow your life
my
up?
life experience tells me the structures of the culture are deeply defined for us, and we must behave within the confines of these structures. Of course, these structures were created by men to benefit them, so oftentimes the only way we can break free from them is by literally blowing them up, which my life experience tells me often looks like bad behavior. But it is in fact an act of deep self-love.
Oh, bad behavior is an act of deep self-love. You're a devil.
I need an
You're a
interpreter.
fool.
This is
You're foolish.
Kamala's
You're
America.
stupid.
Do you understand why
Yo,
this
beautiful
election
black
is so
queens.
important?
Tell her, man. Tell her.
What's on
Then
that?
let the other
I
black
have
girls hear the
disgusted,
queens
and I
hear
will
it too.
throw up from both of
And
them.
the devils and the foolish
The
ones
first
say, we
one
leave them
is,
alone, we leave
that
them
one-
behind.
You know she's a
Because they're going to
teacher.
perish anywhere.
That one girl,
first
the
one,
first
right.
one, yeah.
Buck
And-
teeth, girl.
And that's where she talks to everyone like they're kindergartners. And, you know, first also, Shelley, you said that if you were there, you would tell her, well, you couldn't be there because you're not white. and black people, BIPOC or whatever, they were not invited. Because you know what? These Marxists, they like segregation.
Mm-hmm.
And these people, they segregate Americans into groups and then into racial groups. And they're using this language. We as white people, what the hell? Like, what year is this? What is wrong with these people? It's disgusting. And it's totally like either reminiscent of, when she talks about the greater good, you know, it's Marxism. That's all I see. And yeah, I'm disgusted. But unfortunately, there's tons of white women like that, because they think that they're smart. They think that they're smarter than others, and they understand. And that's why it gives them this sense of, I don't know, entitlement. They do have entitlement.
Yeah, it's weird.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the word of the day, of the week. Weird.
Yeah.
And it definitely is weird.
They are weird.
Alright, you heard it here first.
That's right, I said it.
If you are a feminist, woke, or a Joe Biden voter, this is, in fact, the single most terrifying interview you will ever see. You've been warned. Here's your trigger.
He's a 10, but he voted for Biden.
He's a 0.
Why?
I really don't like Biden. I hate your stinking gut.
How would you describe some of the guy's characteristics?
He's probably a 50 and he's probably not very smart. He's more than likely gay.
Would you rather protect women's rights or have lower taxes?
Have lower taxes.
Smart.
Why?
Because I think
Smart.
women already have enough rights and our taxes are so.
Women have so much rights already. So much.
Barely.
Johnson pointed out what he sees as inconsistencies in Harris's policy positions, particularly her support for legislation benefiting specific ethnic and social groups. He questioned, if the Democratic Party can't do anything just for Black people, why did y'all pass a law only for Asians, only for Native Americans, only for transgenders, only for LGBTQ, only for immigrants? Johnson argued that these actions contradict Harris's claims and demonstrate a lack of commitment to
She's
the
a
Black
liar.
community.
Like I said, you call it
Another
as it
Black
is, bro.
celebrity who
Don't
does not feel
sugarcoat.
confident
Once
in
you start
Kamala's
sugarcoating,
leadership
you're a
is
liar
Boosie.
yourself.
In a
Say what needs to be
2021
said.
interview, rapper Boosie Badazz shared his candid thoughts
Say
on
what
Kamala
needs to be
Harris,
said.
whom he referred to as Camilla. His remarks were a mix of admiration and skepticism, reflecting his complex view on her role as vice president. Boosie began by expressing his unconventional pronunciation of Harris's name.
I think it's pronounced Kamala Harris. Well, I call her Camilla.
Camilla?
Yeah.
You just gonna run with that?
Yeah, when I call somebody something, that would make me special.
What was really surprising was that former President Obama didn't endorse Kamala Harris.
No, she
He
didn't.
hasn't said a word, articulated his concerns and criticisms of her political record and stance on racial issues, drawing parallels to former President Barack Obama.
Just like Barack Obama, they do what they need to do to stay close to the white power structure.
He accused Harris of having a track record of incarcerating black people, stating, "She made a career locking up black people." He also criticized her for downplaying the reality of racism in America. This is the same woman who went on international television and said America is not a racist country, Johnson emphasized, highlighting the dissonance between her statement and the experiences of many black Americans. One of Johnson's main issues with Harris is her perceived lack of identification with the black community. He argued that her mixed race heritage is not the problem. Rather, it is her failure to advocate for black people. My issue ain't her being mixed race.
That's
My
it.
issue with her is not
If you
identifying
claim
with her people.
you're part of the
He
black
explained.
people, what are
Johnson
you doing
recounted
to
an
show them
interview
that
where
you
Harris
disallow
allegedly
people?
stated that laws
What have you
specifically
done?
benefiting black people could not be passed.
What have you done?
Questioning why similar
them?
laws were enacted for
Hurt
other minority
them?
groups. Johnson
Tear the families
pointed
apart?
out what he sees as inconsistency.
And then now, oh, I'm
I
black?
retired my wife,
Go
bro, so she
sit
could be a
somewhere.
full-time
Like I
mom
said,
using
foolish
private
people
trading
will
networks.
support
You want to know
your-
how?
your-